Hi everybody, this is Tina with Loving Life's Little Blessings. Welcome to Memory Keeping Friday, you guys. I have a whole bunch of stuff to share with you. We're talking about my family Project Life album. A few things have changed for me regarding Project Life. I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm also going to share with you guys some digital images that I have created to use within my Project Life album, and some ways that either you've already received these or you can receive them. I also created another set of digital items that will be going that I'll be talking about, that will be going out in a couple weeks. But I really just want to start at the beginning and share with you guys some real stuff that happened with Project Life. I have been struggling. I've been kind of on Project Life overload. I have realized I really wanted to switch up what I was doing, and there were some things that just were not working for me. So a couple things I've mentioned quite a few times, that I'm taking 2 classes / workshops from Ali Edwards. I'm taking One Little Word, and then I'm also taking, or I took stories. It was called storytelling, I believe. And those classes have been amazing. And I'm also planning on taking the Day in the Life class / workshop from her, and I'm going to be getting a couple of her products. And this is why. I took her One Little Word class, and that's a year-long class kind of workshop, and I've always loved Ali Edwards, but I really fell in love with the way she talks about Project Life, the things that she shares, and I realized that I needed some help with Project Life. So here's on my family album. I kind of want to chat with you guys while I'm walking you through my album, so you don't just have to listen to me chat, but you have something to look at. So this is what I did. This is my title page. I did something a little bit different, kind of changed up my design this year. This will be a photo of my husband and I, and then this will be a photo of each of our kids. I believe I'm going to put school pictures of the girls here, and then I'll do a picture of Andrew because he's not in school yet. Over here on this side, I have this set aside for photos of our house, and I did take those this last week before we had a bunch of rain come in. I took photos of all of the outside of our house. I do that every year. Sorry about that yelling, guys. It's bedtime at my house, so the kids are getting into bed. So I did take photos of the outside of our house. It's something I do every year. I try to include a few photos of the outside of our house, just so that we can see the difference in years to come, how the outside of our house looked. I am doing a 6x12 half. This is, a half page, and it's this calendar right here. It's a calendar type page. I bought this as a digital file. Every single thing I talk about today, you guys, I'm going to link on my website. So please, if you're wanting to know where I purchased these, how to get some of the items that I have, please just head over to my coordinating blog post by clicking right up here or down below in the YouTube description. So I purchased this, and this is working out amazing. I just jot down a few of the major items that happened during the month. It gives me the ability to do that. On the opposite side, I can keep a few things like cards and things that I get each month. For January, I am using the Seafoam kit. So here's where things started not going well for me. And I'm going to show you guys, I ripped all of this out of my album. So these are all things I ripped out of my album because it simply was not working for me. We start here, and my week 1 was just Friday and Saturday. We had just some special things that happened. So that's how I started my album. And then it was also different because I had a different page protector over here. So I knew this couldn't be a full week, and so that's why I broke it up the way I did. And then this was just Friday and Saturday, and I had a couple extra photos for that day. So this was actually this was the Friday, and then these 2 were actually Saturday, okay? So that's how I started out, and then this is week 2. So let me explain to you guys how Project Life works for me. Since I've been doing Project Life, I have been using Design A in this format primarily. That's how I set up my album. It's the foundation of my album. I really like that. It allows me to just, it allows my album to flow easier, and then I feel like if I want to change up the page protector like I did over here, I can do that easily. The other thing that really works for me is I do a weekly format. So this is starts on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. Now, I don't, like I just said, these both were Saturday. I'm not so concerned about whether or not this photo was actually taken on Wednesday or not, but that does work for me. Even when I'm looking back through my photos, I can very easily pick out like that was taken on a Thursday or that was taken on a Monday kind of thing. So I'm sticking with that. I had really felt pressure to maybe change that, and I've tried to do a monthly version of it. I've tried different things, and it just didn't work for me. And I feel like that by taking the classes I have with Allie Edwards, I feel like she has really given me permission to do what works for me, which sounds a little bit crazy, but it is what it is. So what was happening is I had found this type title card. I had found this for free. I'll link it on my website if you're interested in it. And I had also found this kind of calendar type card for free. And I thought, well, I'll use these because it sort of goes with this. It sort of goes with my calendar, and then I can stamp, you know, week up here, and you can see right here I started to kind of do that. Like here's week 3. Here's one I did week 1 where I stamped and then I cut out. Here was week 4. So you can see I started to do this. Well, what I found is I don't got time for this. I do not have time to do something like this all of the time. And I was feeling really frustrated and feeling like very behind. Like I kept putting off doing it because I didn't have time. And so I thought, this is not working for me. What really worked was I loved last year when I had the cards I purchased, the circle cards, and then I was just able to use that every single week. I also, a couple years ago, used this kind of card. I purchased it again, and I used this kind of card and also this type card right here. And I loved being able to rotate that. It had the week already. I just loved it. So I went and searched and found this and this again for this year, and I was thrilled. So I purchased it. It was like almost $6 for both, and I was like, that's great. This card right here was a little bit different. It had some writing right here, and I didn't like it, and I wanted something that just, again, said week 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. So what I did is I created these. Just says week 1 all the way through, right? You'll recognize the little black chalkboard type circle. It is a circle that is on my website, and I had that digital image, and so I created these. The awesome thing is that it coordinates with the 1.5 inch punch for Stamp It Up. So if you have signed up to receive my emails, if you are a part of that and you get my weekly emails, you got this for free in your email this week. Today, my emails went out. I always send an email on Friday, and this was a free printable in your email, and you just print it out. I printed it out, obviously, and then I punched it to make sure everything was spaced properly, and it will just work with a 1.5 inch circle punch. And then you can see I've just punched mine out for the whole year. So that was awesome. That's the first thing I did. It took me a little bit of time, so I was like, but that's okay because it's exactly what I needed. If you are not a part of my email list, if you are not getting weekly emails from me, there's 2 things you can do. You can go down and you can use the link in the YouTube description or over on my website, and you can sign up to get those weekly emails, and you will get any digital files that I create in the future, any downloads that I create. And then if you're wanting these right now, you can go over to my website and you can see a link to purchase them. It's $2 to purchase it. I'm not trying to make a ton of money, you guys. Just one of those things. Those that have signed up to get my emails get those special perks. And I want it to remain that way, that they get something for joining me each week and inviting me into their email box. So that's the first thing I did, and it was so helpful. You can see I have January, I have week 2, And then it's perfect. I just have week 3. You can see this took so much stress off me right away. I was like, okay, this rocks. I can totally do this. I just added the circle and then it's on here and ready to go. Okay. So then in February, what I did is then I started to rotate, which is what I did a couple years ago. So the next for February, I just start using these cards right here. So then it goes into week 6, and then you can see week 7, I have an insert there, week 8, week 9, and then I go right into week 10. Okay, so I'm just rotating every month, and that's amazing. That's been amazing. So the next thing that I decided I really needed to do is I need to print weekly. I have shared with you guys in the past that I struggle with printing my photos. I use Snapfish. So typically if I upload photos to get them printed, then I'm having to wait at least 2 weeks to get my prints back. Now I like printing through Snapfish because I can get my photos in a matte finish. I don't like getting glossy photos. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't like it. And everywhere that I print locally or that I can pick up prints, the only option is to get them printed glossy, and I really dislike that. So what I'm doing is I'm letting it go, and I realize that I really need to print weekly or at least upload weekly. So I've decided to do it on Fridays. I used to do that a couple years ago. I always uploaded on Fridays. I would gather all of our devices, download them to my computer, and then upload them and then get them printed through Walgreens. So that's what I've decided to do, is make Friday or Saturday, it depends. It's probably more likely going to be on Saturdays to upload everything, go through my album, and then of course I'm still using sticky notes. Like right here is a sticky note, you guys, and that's what I do. You can see right here for this week, I did this over the weekend. And you can see that I have sticky notes, and I just have to go through my phone and then put where my photos are going to go. I already have one for right here because I know exactly what photo that is. And then you can see right here, I've missed a couple photos. That's the other thing is that when I've been uploading to print and doing it for several weeks at a time, I have missed photos that have needed to be printed. So like right here, I have a sticky note that I just missed that photo. It's there, and I can go back and add it to my cart and get it. But I just realized I need to do that. So I encourage you that even if you're not going to print them weekly, to have a day where you sit down and you do that. Like you go through your photos for the week, you decide what needs to go into your album, and then I move them to a specific folder, and I'm like, these are the photos I'm going to be printing, uploading to print. So that was number 2. So the first thing was this was not working for me, and you can see I ripped all of this out. So I had tried, there's week 3, week 2, here was all the way into March that I ripped out. All of this, I ripped it out. And then I had also tried to start doing my journaling, and I wasn't liking my handwriting, and I ripped them out. I just took it out and put new cards in, and then I felt better about it. So honestly, I don't really suggest always doing that, but I was only 6 weeks in, so I didn't feel like it was a big deal to just take out what wasn't working and just start fresh. So I did my weeks, and then I went through and I made sure all my photos were in, and luckily I have been doing a fairly good job of getting them printed and getting them printed, and I just had a couple places, like I said, where I missed photos. So I did get my stamps down, and you can see that I started stamping and adding some items. Okay, so the next thing I did is I did this. So what I did is I took my Project Life framelits. I have the Becky Higgins framelits, and then I have 2 sets from Stampin' Up! Of like these dies, and I just sat and cut a whole bunch of all of these items. You can see like this is one, there's a heart, there's this item. You probably can't see these very well. So you can see that there's just a bunch of different items in a bunch of different colors. It's colors that I know that I tend to use. I did a bunch in black and Bermuda Bay and brown and a light blue. And I can always get my framelits out and do these anytime, but sometimes to just have a little pile of stuff that I can reach for makes it so easy. Like, that's what I'm realizing, is that I need stuff right at my fingertips to be able to just reach for and do, or I'm not going to do it because I don't have time. So that's the next thing I did. And then you can see that I just started to be able to add those certain things. So let me show you over here kind of where I've done a couple things like that. And one of those hearts, I did vellum right here, and I used a date stamp. And then, of course, I'm using my wood veneers because I have a whole container of those. I'm, able to do my week, which is real easy. And then vellum is my new best friend. I'm loving being able to use vellum, and so I cut a bunch of my 8.5 by 11 vellum sheets. I cut it down into 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have a sheet right in front of me where I do my project life, and then that makes it super easy for me to be able to grab that, use my punches, and add that vellum. I had a place where I did that over a weather. Oh, right here I used, let's see, we'll go over here, and then you can see I used a vellum heart there, and then also right here I used vellum. The next thing that I did is over here, I used sequins on this photo. I punched this out. This was just a Project Life card, and I used my punch to punch it out, and then I sprinkled sequins on this photo, which was super easy to do. And then you can see I have some Post-it notes in place of some photos, you guys. So that has been a huge help. I can't even tell you, I'm very excited about doing Project Life again and incorporating some of those things that I've been learning from Ali Edwards and telling stories and how to better tell my story, how to get better photos that better represent my the stories that I'm trying to tell. This particular week, I did an insert. This is a design Y from Becky Higgins, and all I did was cut off this very end, so it was like 3 pockets I cut off, and then that allowed me to be able to layer this in here. And then I just did a little tab. This is a punch I used, and then I just used packing tape to make it more sturdy, and then I stamped on here, picture perfect, and then I added these photos in here, and then it's a great little insert. And one of my very favorite things about Project Life is the way things layer. Like, I love the way that this looks, like a 6 by 12 layered in here, and then this layered in here, and how everything can just stack. I really love that. So I am trying to do that more and get more pieces of our life, like more like receipts or different things that we're doing or lists that I'm making or that type of thing. I'm really trying to put that in here better. So the very last thing I want to share with you guys, I know this was a longer video of me just chit-chatting, and I promised some process videos in the next couple weeks now that I have a good handle on this. But I have this digital file that I created, and every year you guys know that I do basically a house tour where I take, it's usually in form of an insert, and I do this like where I take photos of my house, different areas of my house, and then I do some journaling about just how our house is and what, if we've changed things. Last year we totally repainted and redid our living room, and so the pictures of our living room this year will look different than last year, and that's like kind of the whole point, right, is to just see the progression of our home. So Becky Higgins a couple years ago released these digital cards that said stories of home, and I really loved them. They were real basic, they were real simple, and I didn't want to use those again this year because I used them last year in my album. So what I did is I created these cards right here, and this is how they look. So there's this one, and it says stories of home, and then there's a bunch of quotes. And so mine are cut out and ready to go into my album, and I've taken pictures of our house. But in the next couple weeks, probably by the end of March, again, if you have joined me through email, you'll be getting this for free. It'll just come in your email exactly how these came today. So when it says stories of home, this set that you'll get will not have my address. This is my home address. It'll be blank, so you can add in your home address. So by the end of March, maybe beginning of April, you guys are going to see that I use these in my album, and I'm thrilled about being able to do this. It was the perfect thing to do for me. So I hope you guys have enjoyed kind of chatting with me about Project Life. I'm sorry that I have not shared with you guys I don't think I've shared with you since January, but I truly have been really overwhelmed and trying to figure out what was working for me, and working through both of those workshops that I'm taking with Allie Edwards. And I just love her, and her thought process about Project Life has helped me so much. So I'll have photos over on my coordinating blog post of a lot of my layouts. You can pin them to Pinterest and look at them later. And then if you guys are ready to dive back in with Project Life with me, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, because I will be sharing a lot more on Fridays with Project Life and doing some process videos with you guys to show you how I'm putting together my weeks. Right now I'm going back and I'm finishing my journaling, and then I also am doing a little bit of embellishing. I want to get all of the embellishing and journaling caught up to March, and then I'll do process videos going forward of the pages that I'm putting together and how I'm doing that. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and getting through this really long chit-chatty video. And leave me a comment and let me know how you guys are doing with Project Life. So thanks guys, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and taking a look at my Project Life album. Make sure you head over to my website to get those digital files if you're interested. I have 2 other videos here for you guys. I have my 2016 Project Life plan, which I did at the very beginning of January. And then I have an organizational video for you guys. That is a video where I just organize my cards, my handmade cards that I make and send out all year long. So thanks guys for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.